It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and a very special holiday wish from all of us here at 2K Sports.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Ernie Johnson and Shaq and Kenny.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, it's
Shaka Claus.
What a festive day it is. Tonight, it'll be the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Houston Rockets at Toyota Center. And for Houston, they struggled in this matchup last season. Only one win for them through 4 games. They'd like to make a statement tonight. From all of us here at 2K, Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Nowhere I would rather be on this day than here with you guys.
I got a couple other places, but this is not bad either.
You know
I
what
got
I
a
got
couple
for
other
Christmas,
places,
Ernie?
got a couple other guys.
You know what I got
couple
for
other
Christmas
people.
this morning?
What'd you get?
Not a dang thing.
No? No
Santa,
gifts?
I'm Santa Claus. Santa Claus don't get gifts.
Oh. Well, it sure is great to be here and be watching NBA hoop, isn't it,
It
fellas?
is, buddy. It sure is.
Well, I appreciate the helicopter, Santa, that you got me today.
That wasn't Santa. That was me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Well, I think the game's just about ready to start. So what do you say we go to Kevin Harlan?
Yeah.
Good idea.
I
Kev.
didn't buy that for you. You gotta return it.
You look at the Spurs. Well, they're entering a bit of a soft spot in their schedule, facing off guys against some of the lower-ranked teams in the league, and we'll see if they're able to take advantage and have their win total.
Well, this is a nice stretch for this team, Kevin, because they get a number of games at home, and it gives them a chance to make up some ground in the standings.
And one of the first things you want to do is establish yourself at home, and that's what they've done. They've been a very difficult out on their home floor. So these games coming up, they'll be ready. Their fans will be ready, and they could make up a lot of ground in the standings.
A look at the San Antonio Spurs opening lineup. Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Aldridge out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Duncan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else. I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the officials.
Well, you've got Greg Popovich, and I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in a more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time.
Here's Parker, and it's sent back by Howard. And here comes Harden, leading the fast break.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes it.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play.
Explosive leaping ability.
Oh, that was pretty, and he just has that, Clark, that effortless knack for getting inside.
And guys, how about how fearsome he is at times? I mean, you'd hate to be the guy tasked with guarding him.
Here's Leonard, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Kawhi Leonard, with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player to win one since 2004. That just shows you how incredible his defense was at times.
And, you know, for Leonard, you can add that Defensive Player of the Year award to his hardware list, and that puts him in elite company, one of only 3 players to win Defensive Player of the Year and Finals MVP. The other 2, Jordan and Olajuwon.
He had a nice open look right there. Harden's got 5 points so far.
Dwight Howard with some slick passing on that one.
And Doris Burke caught up with Coach Greg Popovich. Doris?
A lot of his strategy is focused on Dwight Howard, and rightly so. He said, we know Dwight can do it all, and it is going to take a 5-man effort to slow him down. He can finish, block shots, rebound. The guy is almost 7 feet of pure muscle, and there is just no way to handle him one-on-one. If there is a way, the NBA hasn't discovered it yet.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Here's Duncan following the score by Tony Parker. Duncan, the pass to Green. Duncan kicks to Leonard. And that comes off the assist by Duncan. 8 points for Leonard.
And for Leonard, winning the Defensive Player of the Year didn't change him at all. I mean, he received a car for winning that award and gave it to charity. Went out of his way to thank his teammates during his acceptance speech. I mean, I think it speaks of his character and really the impact that Popovich has had on him and that entire Spurs team.
6 on the shot clock. Ariza no luck. San Antonio leading by 6. Parker kicks to Green. And it's off from 3-point range. Last game for the Spurs, they picked up the W against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Guys, simply a complete team performance, and road wins where everybody contributes really can galvanize a team and bring it together. This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
Howard setting the pick for Harden. Now the feed to Howard. Parker with the steal. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Knocked loose. Rockets trail by 6. Harden has a wide open look. Hits the 3-point bomb. Harden's got 10.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it?
Leonard. The Rockets pull it in. Last game matched up with the Magic. A tough loss there.
Guys, it was like there was a lid on the basket in that game. No matter how many plays you make at the defensive end, hard to overcome such a lack of production offensively.
Well, you know, the high-quality shots were few and far between for them, guys, and they have nobody to blame but themselves for that. You've got to do a better job of working harder to put up points.
And the Rockets making a change here. Brewers checked in. San Antonio leading by 3.
Yeah, the Rockets were able to make it to the 2nd spot in the West at the very end of the season. Actually came down to the last day. They could have ended as low as 6th going into the final games.
Now here's Mills. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Watson dishes to Harden. Pass to Howard. Kicks it out to Harden. There's a screen by Modiunas. It's good. The assist that time from Harden. Modiunas has got his first points of the night. Last season for the Rockets, they finished as the number 2 team in the West to the Golden State Warriors. But, you know, they had to battle the whole way through.
Yeah, in part because of injuries. I mean, the Rockets did well to come in 2nd in the West, but it was because they took...
Wow, we're going to remember that one for a while.
I know I will, Kevin. That was special.
My goodness, that was almost a circus-like dunk.
Here's Mills. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. The 3. The shot will not go. So Houston will take it the other way. Harden the pass to Howard. Back to Harden. And again, the Rockets good for 2.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
Spurs trail by 3. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
And Mills kicks to Aldridge. And he uses the glass on the layup.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
The 3 from Harden. He knocks it down right at the buzzer.
To be in the conversation, I think, is totally appropriate. And Tony is very often not even in the conversation when people talk about top 10 guards and that sort of thing, which has always amazed me. All you hear is all the other names, whoever the new young guard is. And there's a lot of great ones. But to leave his name out seems ridiculous to me.
Parker, a great all-star and champion. In my book, absolutely without question. But would he have reached that level without Greg Popovich as his coach? I think even Tony would tell you probably not.
First team foul.
And we're ready to get rolling once again here for our Christmas Day matchup. And to look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Rockets.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
They've also gotten into a nice rhythm from the three-point line early on tonight.
They've got Jones. Corey Brewer is out there with Patrick Beverly. Then it's Trevor Ariza. And it's Capela in at the 4. That's the 5 for Houston right now. And Capela sends it back. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Beverly.
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful chance.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
I tell you what, I used to love to go up and jam like that.
Ginobili outside. Beverly against Parker. Just 4 to shoot. And here's Anderson for 3. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass up.
And for Kyle Anderson, he had so many traits, Greg, the Spurs were looking for when they drafted him back in 2014, but he spent pretty much the entire season on the pine.
Yeah, and you know that Coach Pop makes his guys earn their minutes. You know, he doesn't care if he took you in the first round or if you're an undrafted free agent. He's going to play the guy who helps his team win.
Here's Parker. Manu Ginobili on the wing. The Spurs rebound. Diop. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
You know, talking about Kyle Anderson, he's a bit of a polarizing prospect, has a multifaceted skill set. I mean, excellent court vision, outstanding length, doesn't have elite athleticism, absolutely needs to get stronger, but he's got a lot of game.
Parker drives in, takes a 3. Offensive rebound. Rockets leading by 7. Brewer with the ball. Picked up by Ginobili. Jones with the screen on Parker. Here's Brewer. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good.
And guys, getting back to Kyle Anderson, not a fit for every system. I mean, he's a guy who needs the ball in his hands to be effective, and he's much more of a facilitator than a finisher at this stage.
To the paint. In the corner, it's Brewer. Beverly against Parker. Screen by Jones. Beverly dishes to Jones. Here's Capela. And that one is stuffed right through.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
Parker's shot is off.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Beverly, the pass to Capela, goes up off the pick.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Beverly against Parker. Ginobili kicks it to West. Parker outside. 5 to shoot. Pulls up. Will not go. This is off the front iron.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And guys, you know that rebounding is a huge part, a huge component of winning games. It's not a glamour stat, but it's necessary if you're going to be a winning team.
Beverly dishes to Capela. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. And now an 11-point Rocket lead.
Well, you know, Hall of Famer and three-time champion Kevin McHale, the Rockets coach, did nothing but find success and win as a player. And, you know, that's been the same song for him as a coach.
And for Coach Kevin McHale, last year was his best. A lot of people thought he could have been easily the coach of the year, leading the Rockets to their third best regular season in franchise history.
And Kevin, with McHale, he's got this team improving every year. His team's win totals have risen as well statistically as I think becoming a better team. Wins aren't always necessarily what determines how good you are.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Leonard. Their offense is most effective, Coach said, when he is most involved. And they're looking for total involvement from him for the rest of this game. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork. Those were the messages. Being in the position they're in, probably a smart move to go to the clipboard and switch things up while we're still in the first half. Kevin?
And as always, Doris, thank you. Here's Brewer. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. Harden's got his third assist on the night.
Such a height mismatch out on the perimeter, and they give up the triple.
Hills with it. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Duncan with the screen for Leonard. Shot off the pick. That one a little long.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. And here's Mills. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided.
I think we just moved the ball a little bit. We were just on the dribble a little bit too much, and they've got a lot of pressure out there, so the ball's got to move.
We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And hello again. We have amped up home crowd joining us for our halftime report. Ernie Johnson with the illustrious Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. James Harden led the way in the first half. He ended up with 17 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
Well, we have to talk about the unbelievable job they've done rebounding the basketball. They've sent bodies flying to the boards on every possession. They've been a stronger, quicker, tougher team by a wide margin. And it's that dominance on the glass that's going to win them this game.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
Well, they run into a very hot shooting team tonight, fellas. When you combine a hot shooting team with the weak defense they've been playing, you're going to get crushed. I hope coach is coming down hard on them right now because they can't keep giving up so many open looks. What are you doing?
And that'll wrap up our halftime show. The third quarter set to go moments from now. We will be right back here after the game.
As we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
Come on, Greg, that's much easier said than done when he's the penetrator. I mean, his speed and agility make him extremely tough to cover.
Spurs trail by 16.
And the Spurs being the defending champions out west heading into last year, but they would end up 6th in the conference with a record of 55-27, had a record of 32-20 against the rest of the West.
On the floor for San Antonio, the always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Aldridge out there with Duncan, and it's Leonard in at the 3 spot. Moniunas kicks to Lawson. Ariza outside. Harden the pass to Howard. 4 on the shot clock. Back to Harden. And that comes off the assist by Dwight Howard. Howard's got 3 assists in the game. Well, we knew the West was going to be wild and very competitive all season long last year, and the Spurs, Clark, epitomized just how crazy and tough things can be there.
Yeah, and with about 3 weeks left in the season, the Spurs were sitting in the 7th playoff spot. Then they go on a tear and win 11 games in a row to jump to number 2. Finally lose 1 game, and they're all the way back to 6th.
Here's Ariza. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. Ariza's got his 2nd basket of the game.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
And, of course, Tony Parker's so big for San Antonio in those championship runs. But word on the street was that Spurs coach Greg Popovich didn't always go easy on Tony. He really pushed him to the limit.
You know, it started back when Tony was invited to the Spurs summer camp before the 2001 draft. One of the scouts was really physical with Tony, really gave him a hard time, and that was really the start of his maturation process in learning to deal with the NBA.
Didn't think that was going to go in. 23 points for James Harden.
He is raining threes here tonight, and he is going to continue to stay aggressive.
As he should. I mean, when you're having the kind of day he's having from long range, you're doing your team a disservice if you aren't shot hungry. And, you know, getting back to Popovich's relationship with Tony Parker, Pop made the decision to draft Parker. So he obviously saw something. But Pop's a perfectionist, and if you're going to play point guard for him, you've got to deliver consistently.
They get it again. Out to Duncan. Nobody near Leonard. That's good, and so Duncan with the assist. And it's 13 points for Kawhi Leonard.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
And talking about Tony Parker, Pop's tough love with him really paid off. Tony eventually became incredibly consistent, culminating with him being named the Finals MVP back in '07.
Aldridge with a screen on Howard. That one's in there. Pocket lead is cut to just 11 on the basket from Kawhi Leonard.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too. That was some slick passing from Harden on that one.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, Greg Popovich was just going over the plan with his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Leonard. Coach said the first thing they should be thinking about is getting the ball in his hands and letting him lead the way on each and every possession. Clearly, some adjustments there had to be made because the time left for a comeback is quickly running out. Kevin, over to you.
And thank you for that, Doris. Third quarter of basketball here, and just a little under 3.5 minutes gone by. Rockets leading by 13. For a while, the Spurs were viewed as a slow-it-down team from their championships almost a decade ago. That isn't the case at all anymore, though.
You know, I think it took the viewing public quite a while to catch on, though, Kevin, because now most people look at the Spurs as one of the more exciting brands of basketball in our league. Just watching one game of them, and now you know that is the case.
Beverly against Parker. Beverly dishes to Capela. Kicks it out to Ariza. It's Harden with the draw.
Oh, my goodness. He's just getting nasty on him now. Wow.
Yeah, now that they've built up a lead, this is when he really breaks out those incredibly slick moves.
Man, like a Ginsu knife, just slicing and dicing.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
Capela, good. It's Harden with the assist that time. Capela's got 12 points in the game.
And an open path to the hoop there. Easy bucket. We've seen that far too many times today.
Parker drives in, and that one's good.
They've raised their field goal percentage just above 50% here. They actually look like a totally different team than what we saw in the first half. Much better execution offensively.
Jones sets the pick for Beverly. To the inside, West with the steal. Parker left side. Here's Ginobili. No good. Good D by Ariza. Houston leading by 12. Jones kicks to Harden. Here's Ariza. The rebound by the Spurs. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one, and that game will kick off a 4-game homestand. And here's Leonard from 3. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Right now, the defense needs to do a better job of closing out on this guy. He's heating up from outside.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Harden the pass to Beverly. Houston moving the ball around. The Rockets with another miss. And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Parker.
It's Rockets ball.
Just 4 seconds left in the third quarter. And here's Harden for 3. No good on that last second attempt there. Now, here is Lawson. Modiunas and Howard, the post pair. Lawson out there with Harden. And it's Brewer in a different spot. So that's who's on the floor for the Rockets.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Mills, that's a two-pointer. They get it back. That is good.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
And that's now 6 points for Aldridge.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Harden's shot is good.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Spurs trail by 11. Aldridge with a screen on Lawson. Here's Duncan. And it's sent back by Howard. And it's the Rockets on the break. The pull-up. He goes up again, so he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Harden's doing it all. He has 29 points, and he's buried a ton of three-pointers in this game, too.
Yeah, I think we need a calculator to keep track of just how many of those he's knocked down.
Shooting for Houston.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Rockets.
And they haven't been pushed around in the paint at all in this game. They have been the aggressors.
Another thing they've done tonight well is share the ball. So many of their points have come off of good, crisp passes.
Just call him the Beard. James Harden, not just iconic, but also entering the conversation for the best player in the NBA.
Rockets leading by 13. The putback, and it's slammed in by Howard.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
And so it's San Antonio with it.
Timeout. San Antonio with the timeout.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. And speaking of Harden and being the best, he'd certainly tell you so. He referred to himself as the best all-around player in the league. What do you think?
And I think he's right in that category. A lot of people laughed him off when he said that, but he's been a legitimate MVP candidate. His defense has gotten better, and obviously his offensive game is off the charts.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. He doesn't think they've been giving it their all, saying they've been quicker to rebounds, to every loose ball. We got to wake up. The game's slipping away, and we're letting it happen. We have got to take control of this thing. We'll see if he lit a fire under him, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Parker dishes to Duncan. Outside Leonard. Duncan with the screen for Leonard. Back to Duncan. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
And, you know, he's enjoyed the kind of day you expect in terms of shooting the basketball. He can bring them right back into this game.
Trevor Ariza's checked in for Brewer. Well, no way to argue it. Tim Duncan, Clark, has been a winner his whole career. He's sharp mentally, and he's got the great tenacity on the floor. Only the greats have those qualities.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think media members still underestimate his will to win. You don't do what he's done without a real laser-focused approach.
Now, Parker. Dishes to Aldridge. From 12 feet out, Matajunas grabs the miss.
You know, interesting, guys, to illustrate Duncan and how he just wins. I mean, Spurs went 8-10 in December of 2014. That marked only the third losing month ever for Tim Duncan.
And Parker, here we go. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A three-point play chance here.
Shooting one.
And that stat you said about Duncan and losing months says a lot about both him and his team. I mean, he has been the leader of this Spurs franchise since day one and deserves all the praise you can give him.
And the jam by Harden.
Big time finish, emphatic.
He hangs on the rim too, just for good measure.
Yeah, but guys, nothing wrong with a little bit of showboating every now and then.
Parker kicks to Aldridge. Outside Leonard. The pass to Parker. Back to Leonard. Just 5 to shoot. Good. Leonard's got 10 points in just the second half.
Tony Parker. Timeout charge to Houston.
Timeout called the Rockets.
And Tony Parker, at least some of his success can be attributed to playing with talented bigs. I mean, in his rookie season, he plays with both the Admiral and Tim Duncan. He kept that partnership going with Duncan for several more championships. So while talented, he's also been very fortunate.
Ariza no up. Spurs trail by 16. Parker passes to Leonard. Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. Rebounded by Howard. Howard's got 8 rebounds in this game. Now talking about Parker and the bigs, Tony benefited from their presence, Clark, but they also benefited from his play.
Really, early in their careers, the only way to defend Parker and Duncan was to pack the lane, and once Tony developed a consistent jump shot, the only way to defend them was to hope and pray.
Right. Ariza outside. Ariza with another miss.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Rockets leading by 14. Here's Harden, and it's thrown down hard with both hands.
And you know what? This guy is just a natural-born scorer.
1:43 left in the fourth quarter. Parker against Lawson. Leonard with the screen on Lawson. Now here's Leonard. Ariza covering. They get the rebound. Out to Parker. Second chance shot. It's rebounded by Houston. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for the Rockets.
And Clark, we got to see a display of offensive prowess in this one that got it done. High-scoring game.
Well, basket after basket, they were in attack mode all game long.
And in terms of the season record, this is going to be their 18th win overall.
And asserting themselves right from the start, guys. They'll be taking the front end of a 4-game season series between these two clubs. They've got to feel good getting the upper hand tonight against the Spurs.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Harden. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Jones checked in for Monty Eunice. Decker comes in for Trevor Ariza. Brewer is checked in for James Harden. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Ty Lawson. Ginobili kicks to Diaw. Here's West. Banked in off the glass. 43 seconds left in the fourth. Now here's Beverly, covered by Mills. Beverly dishes to Jones. Back to Beverly. Cranes the 19-footer. And the Rockets lead by 21.
Didn't take their time in wrapping this game up. They came out with a sense of urgency.
Nice ending spurt to polish it off. Once they had them on the ropes, they started throwing haymakers at them.
The whole knockout blow. And really, if this had come just a little earlier, they may have been able to get back into the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. They needed this a lot sooner than they got it.
So we see the Rockets taking the win here. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team, Clark, by far tonight.
We got a good win tonight coming from a tough game last night. Started out strong. We just stuck with it. We stayed together, and we got a good win.
And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. Now we'll head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson, who's not too far away. EJ?
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time now to present our Jordan Player of the Game. James Harden. He had just an outstanding fourth quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. Wow. You get jealous when he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
That was the James Harden we've come to know and love. A player that brings nothing but fear to players that have to guard him. I've said this for a while now. He's the best one-on-one player in the NBA. And even if it's not a one-on-one situation, even if you throw the kitchen sink at him, he still gets the job done. It's the confidence, the drive, and the spirit that makes James Harden a superstar.
And that will do it for our special Christmas Day broadcast of the NBA here on 2K Sports. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon, and good night, everybody.